Hello everyone, welcome to Staff's Garage Jewelry. Today we have a fun project for you. It's quick, it's easy, and you'll be able to make many of these in a very short period of time. We are going to be using the Oval Rivoli versus the Oval Fancy Stone. And let's talk about those differences here. So let me move these out of the way. So here I have Oval Fancy Stone. And if you turn it on the side, you'll see that it's flat. Let me just do that here. See how the front is flat? And of course you have a bit of a pointed in the back, but the front itself is flat. And that's the key thing. Whereas there's two differences here with the Oval Rivoli, you have a pointed tip in the front, and then instead of it coming to a point in a line like it is here, you have a very sharp point in the back. And you wouldn't think that makes a huge difference, but it can make a huge difference in the projects you are making. For example, if you do a peyote bezel, what I find is that when I'm doing an Oval Rivoli, I've got to go around at least one extra or two extra times just for it to capture properly in that peyote bezel. Now, for each person it could be different, and so as a result of that, even though it's still gorgeous in a peyote bezel, and and I always recommend trying and see if you like it. Preference is different from person to person, but for me, I wanted to try something other than just a peyote bezel, and I wanted to give it something else where you could let the stone shine just a little bit more, which is why I came up with this project. There we go. And these are basically the same thing. The only difference is I put the ear wire here, so the oval's going in this direction. So width-wise, and on this one, the stone is going vertical. And so it's just a matter of where I decide to place my ear wire. But with this, I did it a netted bezel, and I think it does it basically allows the stone to shine. So this is going to be a fun, quick project. What's nice about this project as well as not just being just quite gorgeous, but it also allows you a lot of wiggle room. So if you want to try this with a different size stone, you can do that and easily adjust for that. Or if you're going to be using let's say in here I'm using Miyuki, but you're going to be using Toho. It allows you to adjust those beads easily enough if you need to go back and redo it. Whereas a peyote stitch or some of the other stitches you've labored over for so long, it's a lot of work to undo something. But we've all been there and we've all done it. So let's go ahead and let's gather our materials and let's go ahead and get started. For this project, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put our jump ring onto our ear wire at this point before we get started. I'll just save a step down the road and make things a little bit easier, so go ahead and do that. Meet me back here and we'll get started with the bezel. Alright, go ahead and thread your needle and thread with 1 arm length, and I would probably add about 6 to 8 inches of thread, however long you want your tail to be. And when you do that, put the stop bead 6 to 8 inches. And we're going to go ahead and pick up a total of 16 Delicas. And first we're going to use what you're gonna do is you're gonna pick up 2 from color A, then 2 from color B, then 2 more from color A, 2 more from color B, and that's 8 so far. Then 2 more from color A, then 2 more from color B, and then 2 more from color A, and then 2 more for color B, for a total of 16. Then go ahead and create a little loop by going through, and we're going to go ahead and reinforce. So go ahead and go through all those beads a second time. There we go. And then go through the first 4. And the reason why that is you want to be coming out of that color B on the very last one. So so you've gone around twice for each, and this is actually kind of like a third pass of the thread. And I'm coming out of color B. I'm sorry, I'm coming out of color B. So I have, and right before color A. So I'm coming out of a color B right before color A. I'm going to pick up 3 of color A, then 1 of color B, and then 3 of color A. And then I'm going to skip these 2, which is color A, and go through the 2 Delicas of color B, just like this. So you should have kind of like a triangle here where you have color A, with the accent of color B, color A. Okay, so we're going to have a total of 4 of these pikes. So let's go ahead and do that again. We're going to pick up color A, 3 of those, then color B, and then 3 of color A. And then when we go through, we're skipping the color A and we're going through the 2 of the color B. Just like that. All right, so we're going to go ahead and go all the way around and do that 2 more times. And what I like to do is just kind of sneak my little stop bead in the center here. All right, so now that we've completed that, go ahead and go through each of these a second time, and then meet me back here and we'll go to the top of this. All right, so go ahead and pick up 3 of color A, then 1 of your color B, your accent color, and then 3 more of your color A. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through the little peak at the top of each. So I'm coming out of this peak here. I'm going to go through this peak here. Just like that. And don't worry about being too tight yet. And go all the way around and meet me back here. Now that you've gone all the way around, go ahead and reinforce everything. And then when you're done, after you've reinforced everything a second time, go through till you get to the point where you come to the first accent color right here. And you're coming out of here, okay? Then meet me back here and we'll do the next step. Alright, so I've gone around a second time. Now I'm just making my way, so I'm coming out of this first accent point. And I'm going to go ahead and put in my Rivoli. Now when I do that, it doesn't matter if I go this direction or if I go this direction. The one thing I want to be conscientious is that my point is lining up with the accents here. So lengthwise, at least in one direction. It doesn't matter which direction, it will all work itself out as long as it's doing it for the one direction. And when I say accent point, I don't mean the accent point that I'm coming out of, but the accent point that is the corner. Alright, so we're coming out of this accent point here. This is where we have our point lined up with. And what we're going to do is we're just going to pick up 3 of our color A, 11 Delicas, and we're going to go through, we're going to skip this accent point and go through the next accent point over here. And things will tighten out, and don't worry about having it exactly, you know, completely closed at this point, because when we reinforce everything, we'll be more conscious of that then. So I'm coming out of this accent point, I'm going to pick up 3 more. And again, we're not doing anything with this accent point, so we're going directly over here. Alright, go ahead, turn it around. And we're going to go ahead and pick up 3 more. We're skipping this accent color and going to the next accent color right here. Oops. There we go. There. Now we just need to put on one more side. So I'm picking up 3 more. You can hear a train go by. Skipping this accent color and going through the one we previously were coming out of. And this should create a little diamond shape in the center. And if you need to adjust the stone in the netting, go ahead and do that. There we go. Now we're going to go ahead and reinforce that. So go ahead, meet me back here. And this is where you're also going to tighten things up too, with the reinforcement. You don't want to skip any beads. Alright, so with the tail, go ahead and reinforce this section here. It may have loosened, and that's okay. And then do about, I would say, 3 half knots. And then go ahead and end your thread. And then go ahead and thread your front thread again, and then meet us back here, and we'll decide where we're going to put our ear wire. Now let's just take a look at the other earrings that I made. So this one I made so that the oval is vertical. Whereas on this one, I had it going horizontal. So it's just a matter of which direction you want your oval to be sitting in. And you can decide that for yourself. So since I did the last amethyst going vertical, I'm going to have this one going horizontal. Now, if I wanted to go vertical, I would just be coming out of this gold accent. But because I wanted to go horizontal, sit horizontal, I'm coming out of this gold accent here. So decide which direction you want your earring to be hanging and then go to that accent. Okay? Once you've done that, pick up one and then pick up 6 11-0 Delicas of the accent color plus your ear wire with the jump ring and go through the jump ring. Slide that down. And then we're going to turn to the back. And we're going to go through the 2 accent 11-0 Delicas back here. Slide that. Alright, then we're going to pick up 1 11-0 Delica of the accent color. Slide that down. And then when we go back up, we're going to skip this 11-0 Delica and then go through the remaining 11-0 Delicas until we get to the very front. There we go. And then you can see we're coming out of here. Go through the opposite side of this accent bead. There we go. Alright, once you've done that, go ahead, go back through 3 of the 11-0 Delicas, just like this. And I just like to go ahead and make sure that my ear wire is on the opposite side so it doesn't get caught in any thread. Pick up 1 11-0 Delica, and then go ahead and go through the next 2 11-0 Delicas. And then you can choose which side you want to go through. There we go. And then you just reinforce. So go ahead and go through everything again, reinforce it, and then come back and then do a couple of half knots. I would say do 3 half knots and your thread, and you got your earring. Ta-da! Well, thank you guys. I greatly appreciate you following along. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me through Facebook or YouTube. And I got a few more ideas coming up this way that I think will be fun. And I appreciate everyone's support. Take care, stay safe, and stay healthy.